What is going on, guys? It is Ahmed and I am back today with yet another update for everybody. Guys, you heard it here, and I'm sure you've heard it here and before here, but regardless, CCIV and Lucid Motors officially announced their merger. PR Newswire just published this article titled Lucid Motors to go public in a merger with Churchill Capital Corp. Guys, this is something we've been anticipating for a really long time. So bolstering Lucid's vision to redefine luxury, performance, and efficiency in a sustainable electric vehicle market. Now, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on what occurred. Of course, if anyone is following this stock, I know a lot of people have been invested in it. We saw what happened in the aftermarket. It dropped significantly. So you can see here it's about $41. And, it looks like it bottomed at 43, and everyone thought that was the bottom after it rebounded. But again, more of a sell-off. And this is part of the natural life cycle of a SPAC, special purpose acquisition companies. I've mentioned it on the channel before. When a merger is announced, people take profits. So between now and the merger date, there's going to be volatility on the way. And again, you could go back and reference any of my SPAC videos, but that's just the general life cycle. Now, if you believe in the company long term, are you selling your shares? Absolutely not, regardless of your entry point. Especially if you got in, way up here. If you bought in knowing that you believe in Lucid Motors and their vision and their vehicles long term, you're not going to be panic selling, rather buying the dip. So as we've seen, really like this article from Seeking Alpha, and they talked about, wait for a better entry point. That is the title. That was earlier today around 4:30 Eastern time, and they mentioned, again, financial media seems to be putting a value of $12 to $15 billion on the merger, which currently right now it's at the upper limit of that at $14.8 billion as a market cap of the CCIV SPAC. In round numbers, the shareholders after merger will look for something like this. So guys, I am mentioning this because I really think buying opportunities will present themselves for CCIV. Now again, what are the big dogs? What are the institutions doing? We'll look at that in just a second, but I do want to give a quick shout out to the Patreon. Guys, if you haven't joined us on Patreon, again, feel free to do so. It's a way to support the channel, but not only that, but in addition, we've actually started doing the 1K to 10K challenge. So that's where I'm doing live portfolio updates. Whenever I buy into a stock, I just let everyone else know right there on time, because unfortunately, typical videos and updates I have to make at nighttime like now here in the United States, because I do work in the morning through the late afternoon and evening. So if you haven't, go ahead and join the Patreon and use the Webull link below. You do get 2 free stocks priced from 50, I think it was, or actually, excuse me, you get a stock priced up to $1,850. So if you are interested in that, feel free to do so. But now let's look at what the big dogs are doing. So I'm using Fintel.io. Green rows indicate new positions. Red rows indicate closed positions. Again, what are the big institutions doing? You can see here, a couple did sell a few days ago. Sure, they probably locked in some profits. But since then, we haven't seen any updates about institutions selling off their shares. So this, what we're seeing here for the majority, this 28% correction is retail investors, again, as a majority, selling off their shares, taking profits, which again, volatility is very, very normal, and sell-offs are normal when a merger is announced. Because again, we have to understand with the typical SPAC cycle and how SPACs work, that's just natural. If they run up extremely, we'll look at any other SPAC you could think of. So the LiDAR company, Laser, LAZR is the ticker symbol. That's the one that I remember talking about heavily on my channel. But if you look at the 1 year, what happened? $10 like all SPACs kind of chill at. Definitive agreement, letter of intent, and then, merger announcement. Guess what happened right after the merger was announced on December 8th? Look back at my channel when I talked about it. There was this insane sell-off, a 45% drop in its price, corrected down to $22 a share. But guess what? Big institutions, smart retail investors who actually think before they sell and panic got in because they realized that is a great buying opportunity and the company was undervalued right around there. And then what happened? It found support. It went up a solid 60% thereafter, that sell-off, and it consolidated. So since then, again, we're just waiting for more news with this red day in the market. Additional sell-off is very normal, but again, for solid companies, the only reason I show this is Laser. Again, they are a very solid company with their LiDAR technology that has a very bright future, in my opinion. It's a company I invested in early on, before the SPAC merger even occurred. But regardless, I just want to show you guys the general life cycle with this example, and look back at any SPAC. What are your favorite SPACs? Look at the life cycle of them. What occurs? Typically, merger news, they merge, sell off, and then boom, we see it rise back up. So that's what's happening with CCIV. Very identical patterns that we're seeing. I'm not a person who reads charts in depth, but again, realize and find, if you are interested in Lucid Motors, there is a lot of caveats about this company, and we've talked about it on the Discord. Shout out to Dave. You actually helped me understand this company a little more. The company being Lucid Motors, and there are some electrically related issues that they might have to overcome before their products and their because right now Q1, the Lucid Motors is anticipated to start shipping out their Lucid Air product, their Lucid Air vehicle. So there are some fundamental issues with the company, but regardless, I think long-term as a luxury vehicle space here in the United States, and the fact that they're, expanding into Saudi Arabia, they're going to have a manufacturer there. All these kind of things are positive catalysts, and I think over time the company has very good engineers, very bright and smart individuals who will help propel the company forward. But again, I'm seeing this 30% decrease, and that's not making me kind of panic. I did sell my shares before the merger. I announced that on the Discord. I told everyone, hey, I think that we're at the overbought territory. Now we're seeing a sell-off, but all that means is buying opportunities for people who are long on the company. For me, personally, I like my NIO and Tesla shares a lot more than I like CCIV and Lucid Motors as a company. But again, I think long term, this company's going to do well, and I want to establish a position because they'll get over those humps. They'll get over those little issues along the way that we've seen, and regardless, I think they're going to do very, very well long term. CCIV, guys, congratulations to everyone who got in very, very early. In the $10, because it really wasn't talked about until the news was announced. It's $10, and then it had its run up. And since $10, it's 471% increase in price. So guys, keep this one on your radar. Buying opportunities will present themselves. Again, a lot of hype around it, and especially in the retail investor world. It's all over Reddit, all over the internet, all over the YouTube space. So again, lots of hype around the company, but there's reasons for that. It has some solid fundamentals, some solid reasons to why they're going to do well long term. But until then, we need to find comfortable buying opportunities or buying price targets that we have set. So for me personally, what am I going to do? I'm hoping that I see a continued downfall between now and the merger date. So if I see anything, probably between where I sold was around the $35 mark. So again, I did miss out on a huge run up. But regardless, if I see it correct even more, $35, $32, $30, that's when I'm going to start definitely reestablishing and increasing my position sizes and average down. So for anyone who's long term and you got hurt by this, if you ended up buying at the peak at $60, I saw some people on the Discord saying, oh, I bought at 55, 58. Consider this potential to average down. I reinforce that, I reiterate that on this channel over and over again, because that's how the stock market works. There will be sell-offs. People will take, buy the rumor, sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. With SPACs, buy the rumor, sell the merger. Buy the rumor, sell the merger. Like I showed you guys with the laser company. So regardless, still super excited about CCIV, although I think Tesla and NIO have, some advantages over them. But the fact that they're disrupting and looking to penetrate the luxury vehicle space, I think that's going to propel this company forward and keep it in the upward trajectory over time. But it's, again, they still have to prove themselves. There's some fundamental issues with the company that they have to resolve, but I think they will do so, especially with the amount of capital that is coming into this company. Because if you read through this article here, we're talking, the transaction includes approximately $2.1 billion cash contribution by CCIV and $2.5 billion fully committed pipe with investor lockup provision that binds holders well beyond closing. This is a lot of cash coming into this company to help them with their Q1 anticipated launch, and also help them with, not only manufacturing the products to get them out there, but also the new manufacturers and the new factories that they're opening up in Saudi Arabia and other areas of the world. So as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking the videos. I never ask you to do so. You guys all do it just because you really do like the videos, and I hope to continue making them for you. And until next time, everybody, keep investing.